Welcome to the Synergy Sessions, Aging Smarter in Silicon Valley. I'm your host, Tom Nelson, and I know firsthand as a family caregiver and part of the sandwich generation how tough it can be to take care of your aging parents while balancing your own life, career, and family. We'll bring you the experts and information necessary to help make your life a little bit easier and you a little bit smarter. Synergy Sessions is brought to you by Synergy Home Care, bringing you personalized in-home care and peace of mind to Silicon Valley families. I really do hope you enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Synergy Sessions. Very excited today to have Zane Darty on our podcast. He's the owner or franchise owner and operator of Send Me a Pro, and he provides exercise and wellness programs for seniors and beyond. And I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about that, but welcome to Synergy Sessions, Zane.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm a franchisee owner, by the way, not the owner of the entire franchise.
Oh, yes. Franchisee, much like myself. That's an aspiration, maybe.
I don't want to get in trouble by my...
Right. No, I'm sure we'll all take the blame on that one.
Oh, no problem.
Excellent. Well, thanks for being on. Would love for you just kind of maybe to clarify that. So what do you do in your role as the owner of and franchisee, and in general, kind of what does your company do and how they serve individuals in our community here?
All right, great. Happy to share. Well, what I do as a franchisee owner with Send Me a Pro is I help busy professionals, typically middle-aged on up, who are so busy that they need help with matching their need with a qualified in-home service pro that is really matched with exactly what they need with regards to often their fitness. There are a broad range of services offered under the Send Me a Pro umbrella, in addition to in-home professional trainers. My primary focus for my territory is the in-home personal training. Currently, that's my background. I'm also a certified personal trainer. As a franchisee owner, I do partner with other vendors and other service categories if my clients need other services in their home, to help keep their home in order and healthy and happy, such as, the keeping their home clean, or if they have fix-its or something, then I do have, of course, relationships there. The majority of my time is spent with clients who are so busy that they are feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities of taking care of their children, who often have children of themselves, so their grandkids. And sometimes they're the sandwich generation, where they're also helping to take care of their parents. And so in their 50s and 60s. And so they're really oftentimes feeling like they just don't have enough time to take care of themselves. And so therefore, they're just really oftentimes feeling almost desperate or even of hopelessness. Like they've tried already so many different things, but they can't seem to stay consistent with traveling to a gym, because it takes time to travel to a gym. And it takes time to pay attention to their own fitness, and they would feel selfish if they say, no, I can't, do XYZ because I've got to now take 2 hours out of my day to travel, work out, come back, get a shower, and then, and it's just not feasible for a lot of people like that. And so when they see me online, or they search a trainer come to me, or something that brings us up about us coming to them, then it's very refreshing that there is actually a service that already does the work for them to make sure that they have a verified professional trainer that has been background checked, qualified, verified, and with reference checks. And they can trust that that person can come into their home because they've already been qualified. And not only that, but when they get there, they actually provide a customized fitness program just for them, which is oftentimes helping them with vitality, increasing energy, vitality, and reducing aches and pains. So,
and not just a canned app.
Not just a canned app. Yes. Exactly.
And then also, I understand that you do senior fitness programs at assisted living facilities as well.
Yes. As we continue to serve people at their homes, word got out, and then we grew to the senior living communities as well, which again, it's at their homes. It's just at the senior living community settings.
Right.
So we were therefore able to serve groups of seniors in that setting as well as individually, but also groups such as senior living community classes. Oftentimes, the classes are really designed to help provide a fun and interactive environment to help the seniors get out of their rooms. Even memory care, assisted living, and independent living, all three groups of levels of groups of seniors, whether it be they're independent, they're already living independently for the most part, so they can walk
Yep.
and live pretty much on their own. Then there's the assisted living where they do need some assistance. And then there's the memory care where they really need the most assistance.
Right.
So we actually provide customized classes for each level of seniors, and now 6 locations and growing
Wow.
in the
That's
San Luis,
fantastic.
and yes, and surrounding areas. Thank you.
Yeah. What's really interesting is in the home care industry where I provide caregivers, many times I'm interfacing with our clients' adult children, the
Yeah,
sandwich generation.
right,
But ultimately, we are providing the service to their parent.
right.
You're in a unique position where you are really providing services to both. So
Yes,
the first profile you talked about, that busy professional or someone that just doesn't have the time, but they're 50 plus like myself, who is,
right.
try to keep their head above water and also stay fit and protect their wellness, but
And myself
also,
too.
yeah, taking care of their folks
Mhm.
as well. So
Yeah.
that kind of gives me I had a very general question, but we'll see where this goes. Because what I was going to ask about, what is the challenge either with the senior, and they might be similar, with them prioritizing their health or their wellness, for both of
Mhm.
those categories, or either if you want
Right.
to get into
Well,
that.
prioritizing it is difficult because they're already busy with so many other things. And those seem to be very important, and they are, and urgent. But
Yeah.
but then their health is starting to decline, and they're realizing that they're not going to be able to continue to help those that need help, their
Yeah.
parents or their children, and even be around to play with their grandchildren as much
Right.
if they don't start to take better care of themselves.
Right.
And when they get to that realization, then they start to get scared. It's like a
Yeah.
fear that I'm going to end up not able to get down on the floor and play with my
Yeah.
grandkids with it. Sometimes it's like 60 or 70-year-old adults, and they really want to do that. That's what brings them
Yeah.
joy in their life,
Sure.
and are being with their family. And it's really all about relationships at this age
Yeah.
for a lot of the seniors. And their priority is not as much weight loss and getting super fit and thin, although that
Yeah.
can be great, but
Yeah.
it's mostly to really help them feel stronger, more capable, more independent, not to lose
Mhm.
their independence, not to
Right.
fall and get injured and then get hospitalized. And
Right.
that's one of their biggest fears, is that they would not be independent anymore and
Right.
have a bad fall or something, and or get injured. And so they're like, well, do these trainers know how to help me? Because
Mhm.
some of the stereotypical things of trainers is they're helping people, bodybuilders, and help them compete on
Yeah.
stage, and they're these huge people that are really strong, and they're going to be
Right.
shouting out orders to me. Come on, you can do it. Let's go next rep. Let's go. And they're not like tailored to a senior citizen or
Right.
somebody that's just a busy executive that needs functional fitness, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great segue, because one of the things I was interested in is, what are some of the misnomers of a personal trainer? Because
Mhm.
that's what people think is like, I'm not an athlete, or I don't need a personal trainer. So what does a program, what are the key components of a program, either a 50
Mhm.
plus or a senior? I mean, there's probably all very similar. You might focus on different components more with others depending on the personalized program. But what are all the important components of a good exercise wellness program?
Sure. So key components are to help a middle-aged to senior citizen adult
Mhm.
to do three things. The fitness program is designed to help them increase strength, balance, and flexibility. And so when they increase strength, that also, of course, includes stamina. so that
Uh-huh.
they're not huffing and puffing, just walking across the room
Right.
or to the store or up and down the stairs. And also, if they go up the stairs, they're not feeling extreme knee pain all the time, or they're just not, their joints are aching too much to really want to move. And so that's increasing strength. And then balance is that when they walk, they feel like they have good balance. Like if they walk somewhere, they're not going to likely easily fall
Right.
because they feel strong. And then flexibility is they're not feeling stiff all the time.
Uh-huh.
They're just feeling more flexible, not as stiff in their joints, such as their neck,
Mhm.
shoulders, wrists, ankles, lower back,
Right.
knees too, and their knees. Yeah.
Well, I know firsthand that a fall can be devastating,
Right. Yes.
especially when you have someone who's, in that more assisted living or in the
Uh,
memory care where they're more frail, and the
right.
impact of a fall is
Yeah.
sometimes the first step towards decline because they're healing and everything
Yeah.
else is, or God forbid they break a hip or something where it's a
Right.
really tragic,
Yeah.
injury. So getting ahead of that is
Yes.
huge. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you know, so one of the things that I notice is there's, like, we're talking about priorities, competing priorities. And a lot of times these sandwich generation people are also taking care of others. So they're taking care of their folks, they're
Yeah.
taking care of their own family.
Yes.
How do you work with the others in their life to help support them to be able to do what they need? I would imagine that's something that you would have to
Right.
focus on to make sure they have the time and space and support to get it done.
Right. So the way we do that is they often refer us then to help their parents or to
Hmm.
help their children.
Hmm.
And oftentimes their children have children and their children are, say, in their 30s and they have young kids and they need help oftentimes with their preteen or teenager to not spend as much time on their devices, and they have a lack of time to enroll them in a summer program, or there's a lack of ability, a lack of availability for tailor fit programs at that time in their lives, and so they're having to work a lot, and so one solution is to have a trainer to come to them and provide a 30-minute to 45-minute once a week, twice a week, or more coaching in-home training session with their kids.
Oh,
Because a lot of them work at home, and
right. So
but
as a family unit.
it's a yeah, and it becomes a
Oh,
family
cool.
thing because they just don't have the time to then enroll their children in a summer sports program necessarily,
Mhm.
or it's just not conducive to their schedule at the time because they have to drive them there, be there to watch the game, and that's great if they have the time, awesome, but not
Right.
every parent has that. And so
Hmm.
that's when they hire us or their parents recommend us to their children, or their
Hmm.
parents, the middle aged group recommends us even to their parents. In fact, we've had that recently where a gentleman recommended us to his mother, 80 years old or so, and she's at the Oakmont senior living community, and we're helping her because she doesn't want right now to join one of the classes. We're hoping to be at Oakmont and eventually to have our own classes
Hmm.
and make it engaging for them. But she wants a trainer to come to her room to train her there.
Hmm.
Eventually, of course, the hopes is that she will want to get out of her room and join a fitness class at Oakmont, and that we can hopefully provide as well there. But it's really it's kind of that's how it often starts. Is the children hire us for their parents, and because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
In this case, his mom recently, her husband passed away, and so she
Mm.
is just not motivated, and he doesn't want to see his mom decline in health and just stay secluded all the time.
Yep.
And during the mourning process, grieving and mourning process needs to happen. But as a distraction, he said, let's have the trainer come and help her go through the exercises. And
Yep.
otherwise, she wouldn't be motivated to do these things on her
Right.
own.
Absolutely. That's a really tough time.
Yes.
But just being motivated to do
Hmm.
exercises
Yeah.
is rough for 85% of the population out there. And to have
Right.
somebody that will do it along with them
Hmm.
is really helps them get into a routine,
Right.
and try to groove that
Yeah.
routine. That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
And that routine specifically, like I said, consists of exercises that help to promote balance, flexibility, and strength. For
Yep.
example, functional fitness exercises, even as simple as walking in place with bringing the knees a little high, like
Yeah.
a knee walking. And then all kinds of rotational exercises that are functional. And simple arm rotations help to
Yeah.
strengthen the shoulders, the joints, and going both ways, rotation like that,
Yeah.
shoulder shrugs, and then eventually we
Yeah.
get into after leg raises and things to help with hip mobility, even some hip circles, trunk twist, and all kinds of things like that that are functional, like body calisthenic types of things
Yeah.
with your body weight. Then we also can incorporate some after doing some flexibility as well. We can incorporate some free weights with light dumbbells, things that are functional like upright row, because
Yeah.
that way they can lift the grocery bag up from the
Yeah.
countertop onto another countertop. You see,
Right.
functional exercises,
Yeah.
and it strengthens those muscles, and then they feel better and less aches and pains because oftentimes
Yeah.
all the body needs is just for the muscles and joints to get worked out.
That's fantastic because I know, like you just described all the different levels of the
Hmm.
assisted living, independent assisted and memory care.
Yes.
You can keep them independent
Hmm.
as
Yes.
long as possible and
Right.
not have to get to that assisted. And so you're applying functional exercises, like you said,
Hmm.
to keep them in that independent status,
Right.
which is going to help them live as high a quality of life as they can, for
Yeah.
as long as possible. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
great. Um, and knowing that, so that's another good segue. Knowing those exercises and the appropriate exercise to prescribe for that type of person. The name of your company is Send Me a Pro. Your actual trainers, like how do you select them? How are they trained? And so they're coming in and bringing that level of expertise as opposed to, someone who may
Right.
or may not have
Yeah.
that background and credential.
Yes, absolutely. So each trainer, we work with the best. So the way we do it is we make sure that each trainer already comes highly recommended with at least 1 year experience as a certified personal trainer. Okay, and they must be certified in a reputable PT uh, certification
Hmm.
company such as NASM,
Hmm.
ISSA, ACE, AMFPT. There are a number of them out there that are very reputable and have been around for a while and are known to be high quality and to actually prepare personal trainers to help clients with a broad range of physical strengthening needs. And included in each of these certification courses are how to help seniors.
Okay.
So, yeah, so when someone gets certified as a personal trainer, they understand the how to train older adults as well. So the senior citizens, how to tailor fit the workout and nutrition programs for them. And so that is just part of the course. That's just what we're taught.
Got it. So you just brought up nutrition. So aside from the exercise programs,
Mhm.
I guess depending on whatever the person's goal is, but as a general program, you include nutrition in those as part of your services.
We have general nutrition principles that we discuss, and we're not certified as a dietitian, so we're not
Sure.
supposed to assign specific foods during certain parts of the day that they have to
Right.
eat, but we do give them principles and examples of foods
Hmm.
that fit that description that are known to help our clients with increased energy, strength,
Right.
and vitality.
Right. So just sound nutritional
Sound nutritional guidance.
guidance.
That's
Got it.
universal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
universally known that we should eat whole foods versus processed foods, right?
Right.
So things that are closest to the earth, to the ground, that grow
Right.
on trees versus more steps further from that. It
Right.
means it's less processed. It's more whole food based, and typically that is more nutrient dense, and it means
Yeah.
that you get full faster with less calories, and so
Right.
therefore you have a more nutrient dense food that serves our clients better with more energy and just overall better health
Right.
and lower risks of problems, generally
Got
speaking.
it. So essentially you're helping them make better choices. You're not
Yeah,
prescribing them a diet per
right. We're
se.
not prescribing them a specific diet that they have to
Right.
follow always. With that, if we were to suggest certain foods, it would be definitely with in conjunction with approval of their medical doctor, in
Yep.
conjunction with working with their medical doctor or nutritionist. But we definitely can recommend types of
Mhm.
food groups in
Yep.
general. And even these are some of the foods within those food groups that you can consider. But we
Sure.
always let them know you need to make sure that you're consulting with your dietitian or medical doctor specialist.
Right. Awesome. One of the questions I had is, from a perspective of, there's a lot of private trainers out there. There's like, there's gyms and all these things. What else is unique about you, or else should we know about your company that kind of makes you stand out a little different than just randomly looking for somebody?
Yes. Well, so what we also do in addition is we have everything transparent on our
Mm.
Send Me a Pro platform. So we use an app that is
Okay.
actually similar. It functions in some way similar to Uber, believe it or not.
Okay.
So it's very convenient. Anyone can go to the App Store or Google Play and download or Send Me a Pro app and find the location that they want. So my area is the San Jose West Campbell
Mhm.
area, focused on that area, and any other areas that currently are not taken up by another franchisee location.
Got it.
And so then they would choose that location. Let's say they choose me, and then they would create their free account, and then they just simply put in there what their goals are, when they want to train, their preferences, their schedule, their location, and then they will have the trainers on my team respond if they're available, and then they get to choose which available trainers that they want to start with. And what's unique about us as well is they're not stuck with a particular trainer. We have what's called a good fit guarantee of a trainer,
Mm.
and they can even rotate available trainers until they find the trainer that they want because we have a good fit
Okay.
guarantee. The other
Well, I would
thing,
imagine you don't know what the fit is until they actually do a
try.
session or two with them and really see if there's good chemistry there and all of that.
Yes, yes, there's good chemistry. They really are happy. It's just a good fit.
Mm.
And oftentimes it is the first trainer that they try that they stick with, but sometimes they
Mhm.
say they just simply they don't even have to let the trainer know. They just at the end of the session they can say, "Well, I'll let you know. Thank you so much. Well, I'll let you know if I decide to continue. I appreciate it."
Mhm.
And then they just move on to hire another trainer until they decide to
Yeah.
stick with that trainer. And they can do everything in the app too. They hire the pro trainer in the app. They see the prices and packages all on the app.
Mhm.
So everything's transparent and upfront. And a
Got
lot
it.
of busy people like that because they don't want to invest a lot of their time and then find out that this is not the structure they want. This is not the
Right.
trainer they want. This is not the price point they want. This is not
Yeah.
whatever they want.
Right.
And so they don't have to spend an hour long in-person session,
Right.
consultation with someone coming to their home and then try to do a sales buy something when they're not really not wanting to or something.
Right. So when they put that all in, do you then send the trainer out for the first session, or does somebody contact them to kind of do some type of consultation, or what is the next step after they put all of their information in there, they pick the package and all that? What happens next?
So the next step is actually they hire the trainer and then
Mhm.
their location is showing in there because
Mhm.
they can message the trainer in the app. They've already confirmed via the messaging tab and message
Okay.
the trainer that they chose, and they confirm the day and time that they want to hire them. And once they confirm that by messaging the trainer that responded available, then they are able to actually click hire pro after they purchased the sessions, and then they hire the trainer to come to their home.
So, so question is, so then the best way then, or the way, is people go through the app originally. So do they just go download the app, or can they access that from a website? We'll have all of your contact information, the best way to contact you on the show notes from today. But also, what if somebody watching this, will be posting this on LinkedIn and some other business to business platforms. What if somebody's an executive director of an assisted living community? What's the best way for them to contact you to maybe discuss if you're a good fit for their community?
Right. The best way would be to call me. And so my phone number is on the back of our trainer shirts. It's
okay.
See that?
Perfect.
You see
All
that?
right. Screenshot that.
It's 408-844-4790. 47.
Okay.
4790.
Excellent.
Yes.
And if somebody, especially if they're a senior and maybe they don't have an affinity for technology right away, can they just call that number too and get some human help on that and get them a leg up on the app and all that? Okay.
Yes, sir. I actually answer the phone. I'm a real.
All right. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, in every service business, it's all about relationships. And that's, I think, what draws people like you and me to this. It's like, got to be a people person. There's a lot of different other ways to make a living and to have a heart for helping people. And I appreciate and commend you for that. And
happy to
I just, I don't know, is there anything else that maybe we missed talking about your company or anything else before we close it out?
Sure. Yeah. There's the other level. If someone doesn't want to call and they just want to look us up without having to download an app, they can go to our website. So, and our prices are there too. And so our profiles of trainers, it's just that when they go to actually hire the trainer based on their schedule, then they would do that with the app, but they can initially start to research and look us up. And that's sanjosewest.sendmeapro.com. So sanjosewest.sendmeapro.com. They can go there as well.
Awesome. And we'll have that. We'll put that in the show notes and it'll be all connected to the podcast. So that way they'll be able to click on it and go right there. So
the other thing I want to quickly mention if there's time is about the senior living communities. One of the benefits that activities directors and fitness coordinators love working with me is that it's one less thing off of their plate. They don't have to manage trainers and schedule them and make sure that they always have a trainer to come to the classes. I actually am the one that manages the schedule and makes sure that the trainer comes. And if the trainer is sick or something, then I have a replacement and a sub. I manage that and I take that off of the activity coordinators' plates at the senior living communities. And that's, again, a service that we provide. And that's a real value that we offer to busy activity directors because they have enough on their plate. And so when they know that someone proven and reliable will be there, it's like a breath of fresh air. They're like, oh, great, I don't have to manage that anymore.
Yeah. And they know they're getting a really high quality instructor and they're providing a really added value service to their residents and the people that they're taking care of.
Yeah, such as seated Zumba, seated yoga, Tai Chi, full body fitness types of classes, aquatics fitness even, so swim aerobics for the independent living groups. So it really is a broad range of different types of classes based on what they need and want, what their clients need and want. I find the trainer, I find the instructor with those qualifications, and then I get them to the client. And that's the service I provide is on the matchmaker in that sense.
Yeah, you're cutting right to the chase, what they need, and you're bringing them the right person. That's great. And I would imagine, if they have an idea of a different type of program that you'd be able to work with them on that if it's not part of your existing menu, especially since you do a lot of personalizing.
Like the forum at Cupertino, I work with the assisted living and memory care skilled nursing groups there. The activities director said, do you have anyone for skilled nursing? And I thought, well, I'm going to find out. And so I'm going to find someone. And so I did. and they love her. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. She loves to be with them. She just treats them like her own, parents or grandparents, and just helps them through the whole routine. Really, those are the kind of trainers that I find because I have a system to screen them. I have a
Yeah.
system to find them, and they love
Yeah.
working with me because
Yeah.
they love fitness and they love helping people.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you when COVID shut down all the fitness centers,
Mhm.
I got a pretty big group of the most amazing people that came to work for me as caregivers, like
Really?
group exercise instructors, because they
Yeah.
didn't have jobs, but they have the same heart. And as I was mentioning before, is they,
Right.
that's the core for me, and I'm sure for you, is they people that love that, and then
Yeah.
you add that skill set to them and your training of them. It's so impactful in people's lives, and I'm sure many of your clients, as well as the assisted living, it's probably the bright spot of their day
It
that
is.
they're going and with their group, and they look forward to
Yeah.
seeing the instructor, and there's that social component as well that's
Social.
also not to be minimized. I mean, it's so huge on so many different levels. I mean, that's a whole series of podcasts
I
to
know.
talk about.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you and the service you provide with Synergy Home
Yeah.
Care, and just
Yeah.
the opportunity to be here today and
Yeah.
to kind of collaborate with you to help.
Absolutely. That's why I named it the Synergy Sessions. Obviously, it's the same name as my
Right.
company, but Synergy is that we're all working together here, and
Yes.
it does take a village to help. I mean, aging is not for the weak of heart,
Right.
and it is hard work sometimes. And to have somebody who's helping you along and making it easier,
Mm-hmm.
and really laying the bricks down as they're walking down, and
Yes.
connecting them with people, and improving the quality of their life. It's
Absolutely.
huge. So thank you. And thanks so much, Zane, for being on Synergy Sessions today. And again, I'll make sure all of your contact information is down there, so people have a chance to reach out to you. But
Okay. Great.
thanks so much. And
You're welcome.
thanks everybody for listening and watching, hopefully. And we'll see you next time.
Great.
Right.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Right.
Thank you for joining us on the Synergy Sessions. We know you have a lot on your plate, so we really appreciate you spending the time with us today. If you found the information in this episode useful, please reach out to the guest or the resources in the show notes. I know they would appreciate it and would love to help. Also, if you have an idea for a future episode, please reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook, or email us and let us know. We'd love to hear from you and provide information that's useful. Lastly, please remember, you don't have to do this alone.